Hi, Saj Hussain here, and in this video I want to talk about the future of the HMO market. So this afternoon I just spent some time with some friends that run a mastermind group where I was speaking. Well, I say speaking, it was really more a Q&A and sharing my knowledge and experience with a group of property investors that run a monthly mastermind group. They're actually quite experienced, they're not inexperienced property investors, and one of the questions that came up was, what's going to happen with the HMO market right now with all the number of properties that have been produced and put into the marketplace. So what I do is share my knowledge and my experience of this and what I think is happening. And with our agency, we manage a lot of rooms, about 500 plus rooms around Birmingham. So it gives us a really good, clear idea of what's happening in the market space. So one of the challenges right now, if you like, is that the number of HMOs being brought to the market and being introduced into the marketplace. And what that's doing is not creating saturation, but creating a volume of properties that exist. So I guess especially with the quality of accommodation that's appearing in the marketplace right now, you have to make sure you up your game in terms of the quality of accommodation that you've got. So what's happening then is that with the quality of accommodation that's there, it raises the bar in terms of what you have to produce and what you have to produce in the marketplace. So with the volume of properties that's out there, what it's doing, it's pushing down the poorer quality accommodation into more voids there. So as I said, and you might have heard me say this before, particularly in Birmingham, although we've not reached saturation right now, we probably will get to a point where properties will become saturated in the marketplace. So what happens then? What do you do in 3 years, 5 years, 7 years time? So I think right now the important thing is that your property is in the right location, so it's in the best possible location for where it is. And I think too many people, particularly in Birmingham, make the mistake by setting up the houses in locations that are really not mature, established HMO areas, and then they struggle to let the rooms. So firstly, make sure the property is in the best possible location you can have. Then also think about the size of the property, and does it lend itself to be split up into rooms that are spacious rooms, and maybe if you've got en suites as well, that they're good sized rooms that you're ending up with, because people don't want to live in tiny little cages and boxes. They want a nice sized room that they're in. And then think about the price point you're going to be able to achieve with that property. So now, although you're not future-proofing your property, you're creating something that's going to be at a position where there's going to be sufficient demand for that property. Now, let's say there's lots of properties available, and if you've got a property in the right location of a good standard, nice spacious rooms, you're still going to be in a better position to let those rooms. Now, let's say the market turns on its head and it collapses, and let's say, with Brexit, it means lots of people that are maybe from Europe decide to go back or have to go back. And what's that going to do to the demand? Let's say the demand collapses for people from white collar or blue collar looking to let rooms from you. What happens and what do you do? Well, I think there's always alternative markets to consider. And for me, I think about, okay, what else could I do? Well, maybe I could repurpose a room as student rooms, particularly if they're close to a university. And there's always people, for example, that are unemployed that looking to let rooms. Maybe not a market I really want to be in, but it's an option. And there's also supportive living, where people need care and support in their accommodation. There's those types of markets, and there's a number of other ones as well. So it's not that the world is doomed. And as was said today, there's always going to be demand for rooms at the entry level of the market. People coming in, we're talking about a premium product at the top, but there's always going to be demand for basic accommodation, clean accommodation that's safe in the right location that people want to rent. So just some of my views on what I think is happening in the HMO market, where I think it's going. It would be good to kind of get your thoughts and your comments on that. Let me know what you think, and put comments below, and I'll hopefully jump into that conversation, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video.